session. We all enriched the interaction and enjoyed the questions that were posed by the audiences and the answers that were given by the panelists. And before we officially move on and commence the next session of day 2 of the 4th NCMJ, it is indeed my honor and privilege to welcome Shri Rapolu Anand Bhaskar ji, the ex-MP and former journalist, on the stage with a huge round of applause, who will deliver a very insightful speech on 75 years of media. May we have a huge round of applause for Shri Rapolu Anand Bhaskar ji. And before Sir starts speaking, we'll also take the honor and privilege to felicitate Shri Rapolu Anand Bhaskar ji, the ex-MP and former journalist. Doing the honors are Dheeraj Singh ji, sir, the Director of School of Media and Communication, MIT World Peace University. A huge round of applause, my dear friends. Thank you so much, sir. May we now invite you to have your formal speech on 75 years of media.
My dear Dheeraj Singh ji, my good old friend in the precincts of Indian Parliament, while I was inside, he was outside. While we were deliberating, he was capturing. Friends, elder friends, and my dear young, beloved, ignited friends. This is the land of saints. This is the land of Sahyadri. This is the land of Godavari. This is the land of Krishna. This Pune reminds me the lives of Kesari Balagangadhar Tilak ji, Mahadev Govind Ranade, Gopalakrishna Gokhale, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. Likewise, the prestigious, famous Yeravada jail, which has cultured us to achieve our freedom, and now we are already into the 76th year of our independence. We are the children of the freedom. We are under this mini cosmos, reflecting the whole of the universe. If we wander around, Parikrama, Pradakshana, knowingly or unknowingly, outside and inside, it is having larger, greater, deeper impact. This benefit you are having and hope you are getting enriched with this. This session has made me to break my monotony. How come this University School of Media and Communication, MIT, World Peace University, School of Media and Communication was eager to have me here amidst you to share a few minutes. Whether they are going to be of any use for you in future, but certainly for me it is breaking my monotony of my hanky-panky running, hurried public life. My ignited young friends, this Pune is attaining gradual importance in our country. Dhyaneshwara, परस ज्ञान देवा, जो गांवों में अनपढ़ है उन्हें मौली है, एक एक को एक एक रूप में दिखता है, इसीलिए संत है. Likewise, this land is having a very deeper and the scientific temperament coexisting all along. Actually, there was supposed to be a panel discussion. However, the decision makers are there, asked me to make a lecture out of it. Yes, it's my pleasure. Almost it is with me right since my childhood in 1976. The proposer, the anchor, who was not here to introduce me in that red color attire, your professor, I think, has asked me to have extempore conversation through my lecture. But I want to make some semblance of academic attention, because you are the students, you are having this 4th national conference, which is going to be documented not only for you, but also through several media, visual and printed, for the interested, ignited minds. First part, I would like to seriously discuss with you about the media credibility. In the transition that has happened since my entry into journalism way back in 1980s, I have published my huge book, but in Telugu, way back in 1988. Those who are sitting here, some might have already taken birth, or some others might have not arrived yet. In my Telugu reading circles, still that book, Journalism Charitra Vyavastha, treated as very future look and dynamic book with the well researched aspects on the journalistic patterns as well as the history of the journalism. I don't want to take those chapters before you, but the concluding part I want to make a mention as I speak to you. Those were the days just in transition from the case to case capturing alphabets to make into words, to make a die and to have a page, to gradually to very costly computer affair. During that time, as I studied the global media and their growth, I mentioned future will be facsimile. Future will be without print, without anything concrete, but ever flowing. If we understand today, it is stream, it is flood, it is having every day, every moment catastrophe, avalanche, cloudburst of news. You have just heard, yesterday you might have heard several panelists. You have heard right from Mukesh to Shilpi about the document and documentary. In print it is the document and in flow it is the documentary, as I understand distantly. But for us, what we learned, news supposed to be very pure. Now, the credibility of the news, is that possible in this catastrophic way of cloudburst of news to sustain the credibility? For this, let me once again ask you to understand the premises of the Indian Parliament. Way back in 2012, as I entered into Indian Parliament to enter into my chosen house, that is Rajya Sabha, Elders House, as I was to stepping into Central Hall, I was reading a shloka. Ajam nija paro veti ganana lagu chetasam udara cheritanantu vasudaiva kutumbakam. Vasudaiva kutumbakam. How come that Vasudaiva Kutumbakam will form? Udara Cheritanantu Vasudaiva Kutumbakam. Then how come this Ganana Lagu Chetasam? Ajam Nija Paro Veti. Ajam Nija Paro Veti. Ganana Lagu Chetasam Udara Cheritanantu Vasudaiva Kutumbakam. To make the universe as the single family of the bond of affinity, togetherness, cohesiveness, cooperativeness. These strange attitudes of the rigidity and the exclusivity will not serve. This is your dialogue. For this, you are sitting here and debating here in that context of dialogue, inclusivity, and peace. To attain the peace, you need to have the inclusivity, and to have the inclusivity, you need to have the dialogue. That is the context, that is where it is here now. In such situation, if we understand the credibility, News is history in hurry. Whomever may be the maker or the presenter or the flower, news is history in hurry. At the same time, the flow of news is river. It cannot be canal. It cannot be channel, structured, constructed. News must be river flow. In that, by lanes and sideways, bringing the drainage into the pure flow of the river. What is the sort of contamination, the toxicity that will intrude into the river flow of the news? That's happening. For that, how to understand? There were several thousands and thousands of stone inscriptions throughout the world, in particular in our India, to understand the yesteryears, yester centuries, yester millennia, ruling and the civilization and the social life. I take a mention of the Ashoka period. We did find certain stone inscriptions of the Ashoka period that the gist of these stone inscriptions, a few that were found and highly debated were: the Esther generations were of decent nature. They used to hear the elders and follow the guidelines of the elders. But the present generation is not showing that much interest to hear the present elders. So, the society and the elders of the society shall show some mechanism, method to guide the present generations. This was the stone inscription of the days of Ashoka, Emperor the Great. So now you can understand, even then that was the cry. Even then that was the situation for which the rulers and the elders of the generation of the Ashoka the Great were also worried about. In such situation, how the present generation of you and the upcoming generations after you could be. So don't worry. I am not pleading that there is no question of debating the credibility. Credibility is always there to be debated, devised and analyzed and arrived at. What is the situation of the technology today? My 1988 book, as I reminded you, has given the glimpse of the printing transition. Now, here sitting in this hall or anywhere, if you are just connected, having your smartphone in your hand, you can become the storyteller, you can become the narrator, you can become the news anchor, you can become the news presenter, you can become the author, you can even become the star within seconds. That is why these days, looking at the hard copy of the published thing is very less now. The incidence has been analyzed. As per the 2021 record, the dependence on news has been analyzed. 72% of the newsmongers are just depending on their smartphones. We got fancied in our days of learning and practicing to read news on computer. But today, everything is in your hands. 72% of the news viewers, readers are just getting satisfied and attended to through their smartphones. This is just within India. Within India, the YouTube dependence and WhatsApp dependence became rampant these days. This type of transition, the easy reach of the technology has enabled the basic empowerment, and that has also given the conflict. The conflict part is the credibility question. And the way of democratization of the news flow is also part of the integral part of the credibility. As the students of the media and communication, media and journalism, and the future analysts and researchers, besides several ways of life for you, before you, everything is before you, like this miniature cosmos. The mediascape is going to have larger transition. In India in particular, the artificial intelligence is yet to make their heavy inroads. As they push forward, you will certainly have the technological adventures. Within 2 to 3 years, almost each and everybody will have 5G and above. Even if you are not interested, you are going to be flooded with the 5G and above. In such situation, the technology availability, hardware and the software rule, you are going to have very severely impacted. With this, the question of the revenue will arise. There is a gradual monopolization of the strength, the foundation and the technology and the mechanism and the methodology that is available to disseminate. I just take one example of the latest Twitter and Elon Musk. What is happening on the platform that is called Twitter? As he entered in with a sync, he has brought in 2 types of citizenship on the platform of Twitter. That's fine. It is his commercial path. Then it is also entered into India now. If you could afford 800 plus, precisely 719 rupees per month, you are the blue-ticked Twitter user. Just in 3 days, what has happened to Twitter platform? Throughout the globe, even in India, you are finding something is official and something is personal, without mentioning. And that was shelved. This type of control is creeping in. That is where the monopolization. If you load something onto YouTube, it will ask whether this is for all the audience, all the viewers, and it will also ask whether it is going to be only for kids. If it is only for the kids, you will be under this jurisdiction of the US law as far as the children are to be flooded with the videos. This type of controls are already there in India. To some extent, governmental intervention and the monopolization of the available tools, those have come up, but not so successfully like coup and all that. They are also making their presence felt. In such situation, the question of credibility is going to be seriously debated. Whoever they are going to present, spread the news, the societal auditing is happening. If you are credible, you are safe. Otherwise, you will be trolled. This type of formation, this type of transformation is going to give bigger challenges to the society, to the upcoming new media, and the people those are seriously involved like you, ignited friends. With this, let us be ready to cope with artificial intelligence, 5G plus software, advantageous, extra easily available, cheaper internet, besides the print form and the visual form and the hard form and the huge form of celluloid to TV to printed newspapers. These things shall be very seriously in, day out, updated with you, for which I wish you all the best. I think I may need to address on my observation on the 75 years of the growth in India as far as media is concerned. That part, as other panelists make their entry onto the podium, I'll try to present myself once again. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful.
Dheeraj, as our friends have taken the discussion forward, let me take you back to the history of our communication. If we understand the civilizations, we understand through the pottery, we understand through the stone engravements, we understand from the findings that those are available at various excavated sites. If we come to the independence period, in South Africa, what Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi has made. In Mumbai and Pune, what Firoz Shah Mehta has made, what Gopal Krishna Gokhale has made, what Bal Gangadhar Tilakji made, what Ranade made, what Phuleji made. At latter part, after the arrival of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi ji as Mahatma Gandhi into India, what Mahatma Gandhi made, what Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose has made, what Dr. Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar made, they published. They published their own content through their own book, pamphlet, newspaper, journal, magazine. By that way, gradually media organizations have also grown. By the time of Mahatma Gandhi advent into Indian freedom struggle, there were newspapers, Times of India is there. And other media was gradually growing. Vernacular media was also growing. If we bring that scenario to the present day, this polarization part will have the proper answer. If the present day politician is not having the micro blogging facility, if he is not having a website, if he is not having a medium to channelize his communication of voice and visual presentation through YouTube channel, something is lacking on his side. It is being treated like that. So this polarization will automatically have the influence on the broader media. As Mr. Joshi has mentioned, Fadnavis has mentioned, Prachi has mentioned, media organizations, yes, to authenticate. In our own learning days, the hard copy, the print is the evidence. And Joshi has mentioned the withdrawal of a news from even the microblogging site. That is the way of the societal auditing that is occurring. The polarization will be naturally there, Dheeraj. At the same time, plugging in to bring it to the proper credible level will be also there. This will be ongoing thing, the way of conflict and the consideration. Hope capture the imagination. That's all. Capture the imagination. How? We are presently here in Loni, land of Raj Kapoor, the legend. He just lived with Ganga. What is Ma Ganga? माने तो माँ गंगा हूं, ना माने तो बहती पानी. With that, what he has made? He made wonders. Take the case of Abraham Lincoln. Take the case of John F. Kennedy. Latest, take the case of Barack Obama. Even take the case of Rishi Sunak. In India, take the case of Mahatma Gandhi. Take the case of Narendra Bhai Modi. Even I come from Telangana. Take the case of K. Chandrasekhar Rao, KCR, the famous. They are all story presenters, storytellers. They make their story. You make story of somebody else. What is story? The human interest, capturing imagination. New twist to the old story is news. Likewise, data can be story. Data can also attract. Development can also attract. Medicine can also attract. Every field can also attract in its own newness. Capturing newness, capture the imagination. Capturing the imagination through your own senses and capacities will make you and give you the standard of storytelling, and you will automatically become the standard to measure with. In the society presently, every alertness, as Dheeraj has mentioned, eternal learning. We have to be up to date, not only up to date up to now, even up to tomorrow. All the best.
Thank you.
Capture the imagination. That's all. Capture the imagination. How? We are presently here in Loni, land of Raj Kapoor, the legend. He just lived with Ganga. What is Ma Ganga? माने तो माँ गंगा हूं, ना माने तो बहती पानी. With that, what he has made? he made wonders. Take the case of Abraham Lincoln. Take the case of John F. Kennedy. Latest, take the case of Barack Obama. Even take the case of Rishi Sunak. In India, take the case of Mahatma Gandhi. Take the case of Narendra Bhai Modi. Even I come from Telangana. Take the case of K. Chandrasekhar Rao, KCR, the famous. They are all story presenters, storytellers. They make their story. You make story of somebody else. What is story? The human interest, capturing imagination. New twist to the old story is news. Likewise, data can be story. Data can also attract. Development can also attract. Medicine can also attract. Every field can also attract in its own newness. Capturing newness, capture the imagination. Capturing the imagination through your own senses and capacities will make you and give you the standard of storytelling, and you will automatically become the standard to measure with. In the society presently, everybody is a storyteller. They are making their own case. So alertness, as Dheeraj has mentioned, eternal learning. We have to be up to date, not only up to date up to now, even up to tomorrow. All the best.
Thank you.
This is the perennial, permanent question of anybody to enter in. Take the case of Tanushree Pandey, Hathras. Take the case of Barka Dutt. Take the case of Palki of Gravitas of Voyas Sarvoin. Likewise, what made them? Research, evidence, stabilization. That must be the added advantage for each and everybody. How you will begin? Fadnavis has an answer, Joshi is also having an answer, Prachi is also having an answer, and you will also have an answer. But research, research, research. Your foundation must be the evidence-based, solid research, research, research.
Yeah, we have